Take it. Good time to get hot.
Overrated.
Decent slate for props today. Did you like for Giannis and Embiid, their point prop or their fantasy prop?
You know what I noticed with Embiid or Giannis is like he's been like racking up the real points, and his fantasy point will be much lower than his normal amount. His ceiling, I feel like lately.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like when he's aggressive on offense, he's like sacrificing stuff on defense and rebounding. But
makes sense. Yeah, he's hitting his point prop on his fantasy. Right, I guess
they're in that point race right now. I think there's like a 0.2 difference between them points per game.
Yeah, him and Embiid. Yeah.
I mean, last two games the last game he put up over 32 points, and Embiid had like 40 real life points.
Take it. I think Porzingis fantasy prop. I want to lock him.
Bro, this cake is bomb.
Wait, you're gonna go with that?
I'm going Giannis, Embiid, Porzingis fantasy. I need one more. I was going to do DeRozan, but just don't know news yet. Might wait it out.
It's probably still live.
Yeah. Which is not. It won't be as consistent. Like he had a big game with points last time, but he was on a bit of a cooling stretch for a little bit.
What's your thoughts on Kyrie, man? It feels like a bounce back spot for him.
It does after a bad shooting night. Yeah. It does. Would I would I core play? Would I tier 1 it? Like you said, like Seth Curry's back. He's gonna take some shots. Durant's there. This is Detroit. It'd be like a tier 2. Secondary play.
Yeah, I mean, I would really like to see some top. Pistons Cows.
I think this game has a pretty big spread.
Yeah, you think people will unsub if I'm eating cake on the air?
Nah, people are cool with it, man.
This cake is good.
Hey, I tell man, be like, it's the cake play of the day.
Bro, cake and coffee should just be a thing every day of my life. I should probably go live.
Yeah, that is definitely like the idea.
I'm gonna finish the cake. God dang it! Oh, it's so good. There's a lot of cake in my mouth.
Let's go live. Show the people some cake.
Well, I need Josh to be back now. He just got up and ran away. I'm running out of. I gotta go. I'm running out of time on the song. F it.
He'll show up.
There we go. What's up, chat? Not a cake. Happy Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. Shout out to you guys hanging out in the chat already. We just did the DFS show, chopping up the slate from a player prop point of view. And now we're going to run it back, keep the props in mind, but kind of add the salaries from Fanduel and DK into the mix. In this show, we brought in Raj. He crashed the party at the end of the last show. We figured we'll keep him around. Because we only got 2 more days to wager.
A couple more days.
Raj,
gotta take him to court.
We had an epic night last night.
We did.
Were you in on the sweats live as they occurred?
Yep. Now I wasn't in on the Pokashevsky sweats. I wasn't in on that one, but everyone else hit for me, so it was cool. But it was a fun one. Just that game. I wish I played more of that game in actual DFS. Could have won a little more.
Legendary, man. And what's funny is Quinn said yesterday in the show, he said, "I'm not touching that game."
Yeah. I just want to say, I mean, I said 2020 for Drew Eubanks. It wasn't quite 2020, but I believe he got 50 fantasy points.
Oh, he killed it.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Bro, don't try and take a victory lap and say you wish you had that game. Shut up.
I'm just saying. Should have more of it, but I had all the Eubanks. Should have trusted Brandon Williams. Just didn't.
That'll go down as one of my favorite fantasy or prop betting games ever.
No, for sure. It's a good one.
Of course, it went to overtime. Of course. All right. But yeah, absolutely crushed it. We had a couple fun sweats though. That Steven Adams first half was so much fun. The Pokusevski, we're still owed 3 points by the universe on Pokusevski, by the way. And then yeah, just a lot of green. So really, really lucrative night. I'm glad it happened. Sometimes you get the bad beats that stick with you forever, but the good beats are also fun to carry around. So it's all in the sweat, right? If you need overtime to get it, go for it. Remember earlier this season, one of the more epic wins that we had involved a Bam Adebayo last second block and rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. You just always remember. And it's a lot of fun. Shout out to live chat, who I will always remember because the stream does not want to show you guys love. Let me see if I hide it and unhide it. Will it bring you guys back? But I see you. Just know that I see you. Mia Moore out there. Doug Geely in the chat. Steve Leibowitz. Better luck, DFS. Your cake. Yeah, Danny made a strawberry cake last night. It's pretty good. Blah, I don't know. Neville, what up, Neville? Mighty Saint to save you some cake. There's a little bit left. Obi-Wan in the chat. Nate D. Obi96. We got two Obis, kind of. Shout out to you guys. Justin Sports. Yeah. Hope you guys are doing all right today. Hopefully you guys made out with some money last night. I know it's we've been kind of stuck on the prop bet side. For the DFS side, it wasn't that bad either. I think a lot of us were on, of course, the necessary chalk guys from the Blazers. A lot of us not being rods, and guys like Theo Maledon, who I have his autograph, guys. I was so excited when I got his autograph. This is why. But yesterday, a lot of big scores. I pulled up the 27th instead of the 28th. The Celtics almost did it, Raj. You talking all that trash about the Raptors? Y'all barely beat.
They played inspired basketball. It is what it is.
Inspired basketball.
Yeah.
Jokic led the entire slate fantasy points, 72 of them. Pascal Siakam, 68.75. He played 47 minutes, 40 real points, 13 rebounds, 5 stocks. DeJounte Murray against the Rockets, 33.7 boards, 11 assists. You love to see it. Drew Eubanks, 60 fantasy points, 27 and 14. Brandon Williams, 25, 4 and 12. He had 4 steals, by the way. Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers were very, very short-staffed up against that Hawks team. By the way, who got ruled out? Was it Trey Mann got ruled out like halfway through the slate against the I was like, what the heck? So that definitely beefed up Maledon. Halliburton, 13 assists for him. Garland, 55 fantasy points, 12 assists. Roby, big game out of him. Kevin Porter Jr., 50 fantasy points from him, 36 minutes, almost triple-double. Didn't, almost. LaMelo Ball, another 50 bomb. Marcus Smart, 47 fantasy points. Maledon, 45. Jalen Green, 45. Alec Burks, 43. So shout out to you guys that were on Alec Burks. I thought Julius Randle would have a negative impact, and it kind of did, but it also didn't because Julius Randle only played like 28 minutes versus 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. And then, hopefully you guys did well. If you didn't, there's always tomorrow. And tomorrow is today, though. And that's what we're here to do is try to figure out today's slate. And we're going to be doing it using the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet powered by RunDFS.com. If you guys want to get access to that spreadsheet, to the premium Discord, the voice chats, all that good stuff, go to RunDFS.com. Click VIP memberships, get your self-signed up. I would heavily recommend you take advantage of this MLB season pass. $300. It turns into $200 if you use that Fantasy Cruncher rebate. It's $100 towards their optimizer, which is the best around. Check that out, and then of course you get access to the MLB spreadsheet, which might just be the best around. It's very good. It's very good. It's very good. The bomb detector, and then by request, my boy Damron was like, "Going, I need to learn. I'm gonna do. Can I do my Damron impression? I think we all have one. He's got this incredible angelic voice. Like I don't know, Damron. I think if you had to imagine what God's voice sound like, it sounds like Damron in my head. He's just like, "Gun, I want to play MLB this year, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I need you to sit in the Discord with me and teach me." So I was like, "You're right." And then I've had a couple DMs on Twitter, some emails. A lot of people feel the same way, where the want to do it is there, but the learning curve is steep, and there's not a lot of attention-keeping content and people with patience enough to walk you through it. So I'll be your Huckleberry. What the freak? Yeah, we're gonna have some Discord calls to go over that stuff. So get yourself an MLB season pass and let's do it. Do it to it. What up, Lamont? Alex in the chat. Mia Moore thinks I forgot her birthday, by the way. I did not. But I will troll her. Bulls at the Wizards. First game tonight. We got a 2-2-2 and another one, 2 is our total 3.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Chicago Bulls. Ayo Dosunmu, Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Tomas Satoransky, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Corey Kispert, Rui Hachimura, and Kristaps Porzingis. The Bulls listed Zach LaVine as questionable. He's dealing with knee soreness. He has actually been hit with this tag a few times this year. He's actually played through it a few times this year on a back-to-back, but he's also rested. So we'll see how that develops. Obviously, if LaVine does not play, it's going to spike the scoring load for DeRozan, for Vucevic, the fantasy point per minute for those two as well. And Vucevic likely leads everyone in fantasy points per minute. And then, of course, they could spread out some more PT for Dosunmu, Caruso, Kobe White, guys like that. So big news to watch. Luckily, it is part of the first set of games that lock from the Department of Redundancy Department. And they'll be up against the Washington Wizards. Been talking about knowing what games mean anything down the stretch. Well, for the Wizards, they're all but dead, so it doesn't mean much for them. Mathematically, they're not completely out of it, but they're kind of out of it. 6 games back from the 10 spot, while the Bulls have not been mathematically out of being a top 4 team with home court advantage, but they're kind of out of it. So if teams start coasting, and they start realizing that probability's sake says that they will not really move, they won't move forward. But there is a chance for the Bulls to move backwards. Raptors are tied with them in wins and losses. The Cavs are 1 behind. And then, of course, the Nets could play catch-up down this stretch. So there is at least a sense of urgency for the Bulls to not go backwards. So in terms of what this game means, that's what this game means. Raj, from a DFS standpoint, even with LaVine in on a 5-game slate, 8K-ish DeRozan and Vucevic should be introduced into the player pool anyway. And then on the Wizard side, Tomas Satoransky's 3,600 on Fanduel. He has flirted with 30 minutes in back-to-back games. Maybe not a staggering points per minute guy, maybe not a slate breaker, but he could be a stocking stuffer to keep you afloat and give you some money to go get maybe an Embiid, a Giannis, if not both. And of course, Porzingis is just kind of a two-face, right? Flip a coin. Is he going to drop you 50? He's going to drop you 30. What's your initial feels on this game? For what it's worth, we do have 2 games on a 5-game slate with double-digit spreads. So at least this game gives us the argument of being competitive, and that's what we saw last night with Bulls and Knicks. It was competitive, so we had stuff in that game we wanted to walk away with. Did you have any early leans on what you need from Bulls and Wizards, and what does LaVine do towards your confidence towards those clicks?
I think first the best to play on in this game definitely Porzingis. Power forwards have been destroying Chicago all year long. I'm not going to stop with Porzingis with no Kyle Kuzma. Kind of his team, his show. Last game he shot 6 for 21, bad shooting night, and still got you 45 fantasy points. So in a good shooting night, he has that 60-point upside. I'll take that all day with 8,500. Give me all the Porzingis in this spot here. On the Chicago side, you mentioned DeRozan 8,300 coming off of a big game, scored over 30 real life points. It's been a while since It's been about 7 games since he scored 30 reliable points. So maybe he found a shooting stroke a little bit again. So take that, like that price at 8,300. You mentioned Zach LaVine. If he plays 8,200, he's going to be in play too. I think he should be good for 40 fantasy points here. If he gets hot from 3, a couple extra peripherals, he can get you 50. So I like that. If LaVine doesn't play, Caruso at 5,300 does become interesting. He's playing the minutes, not getting there all the time. Past few games, 18 fantasy points, 35, 16, 19. So I think he's still kind of working himself back, trying to get the groove of things again. But at 5,300 with no LaVine, I think he'd be a fine play there too.
Josh, what's the game script here? I know it was kind of a rough game for us from the prop betting world. We kind of walked away with DeRozan fantasy points. I will say we've done this a few times now. There were spots where I don't know, Patrick Williams wasn't in the mix, but every time we run this, Vucevic ends up kind of surprising us with his per minute production. And we know the Wizards have certainly been on the season at front court. We can pick on now. Maybe Porzingis does beef up the defense a little bit, and that Vucevic is not that impactful. But you could certainly see Vucevic getting lost in the sauce today with Embiid on the slate. So I guess what I'll do is if the site will cooperate with me, it seems like this time every day the site kind of starts lagging for us. I'll go and take LaVine off for the Chicago Bulls. Let me make sure I got Lonzo off as well. Or actually, I'll just tighten it up since the All-Star break. And then we'll put DeRozan and Vooch on the court. It is going so slow. DeRozan. I accidentally took off Elise Johnson. I feel like I'm not even going to fix that because it's just going to take from my goodness. All right, this might be the last Wowie search we do on this stream because the site is hurting right now.
I'm on it too right now.
It's really slow?
Yeah. Well, I've been using it.
Yeah. I mean, we used it on the last stream too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this on the last stream. I noticed this is like its one bad thing sometimes is it does this. But when it works, it's elite. I love it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a primary tool for sure.
Had DeRozan low last night. Finally got off a slump going back again tonight. I dig that drama. We talked about how DeRozan and LaVine's real point props were the lowest we've seen him in a long time. And then, put him out there in the Garden in games where you want to see him compete. He definitely came through. So, good click if you had some of that. I ain't seen one parachuting spider, but I just see a bunch of crazy spring breakers. I'm definitely more scared of spiders than I am drunk white girls. Yeah. Daughter turns 5 tomorrow. It's not letting me drop a super chat. Oh, well, happy birthday to your daughter. Yeah, it's also Danny's birthday, so nice little day tomorrow. All right, so Vooch and DeRozan on the court together. Zach LaVine off of the court. Speaking slowly so it can load. This is probably the last, 25% assist rate on DeRozan, 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Vooch is $1.25 per minute production. So I do like me some Vucevic, and I would imagine if I'm able to take Lonzo off, we might even get tighter numbers on those two splits. I need an alternate tool when this happens. I think Roto World has one, RotoWire. Yeah. All right, taking Alonzo off as well. Turn 23 tomorrow. 23. Rod, shut up.
Don't say nothing.
Chili.
23. That's cute. That's cute.
So yeah, it's still about the same split there. So I don't know. What I was getting at is Vucevic might be a super sneaky play down here at the center spot. 7,600 on FanDuel, AK on DK. Over 40 fantasy points, 45-ish on both sites is the early projection, even with LaVine being in the projection system. So something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I think it's going to be a hard to predict game, but I definitely think access to it makes sense. And then at the end of the night, we're looking at a couple blowouts in this game. Actually stayed close. Makes sense that we want to be there. Yeah, Rod, shut up. Sixers in the Bucks. This is the game. Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez taking on Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. 232 is our total 1-point spread in favor of the home team, Philadelphia 76ers. This could be an Eastern Conference Finals preview, and there's a lot of heavy hitters in this one. Giannis versus Embiid, two of the top three candidates right now for the MVP conversation, with Jokic and Embiid the top two. But Giannis, I took that personally. He might come in and drop some points here. And anytime we can get 4 implied quarters of Giannis basketball, you certainly could get 60 to 70 fantasy points. We did a little bit of a history project on these two, and long-term, Joel Embiid has kind of been ducking. DKP by game log versus Joel Embiid. Let's go last 5 games. But I do believe they played last month, and that was a game where we got Giannis to drop 68. Giannis has dropped 60 or more fantasy points in 4 straight games. And as we get to the 4th and 5th game, we're talking 2020, 2019. So that's how rare it is for Giannis and Embiid to square up in the league lately. They've had 2 games since 2021's. That's an incredible number. So today we get to see 2 of the best in the business go at it, but we also get really healthy, full strength, all hands on deck teams. Very, very clean sheets on the injury reports. So you're gonna get Harden, Maxey, Embiid, if you consider that the big 3, Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton in the mix. We even got Brook Lopez to join the fun. So it's going to be chaos. The pricing isn't like egregiously good or bad. In the context of a 5-game slate where we do have a respect for floor and not necessarily chasing crazy ceiling like yesterday. We don't have full-on tank teams like yesterday. Embiid's probably somebody that is going to be a top 3 scorer. And then James Harden at about 10K on both sides. If you think 50 plus fantasy points is a expectation for him, I think 10K is not enough to push me away from him. And then on the Bucks side, getting past Giannis Antetokounmpo gets a little bit shakier because I didn't get a single person breaking their price point in my early projections. So I as far as a game that's projected to be competitive and a team that I know kind of what's going to happen, right? The big 3. Past Giannis, I'm really not super enthralled by Middleton and Drew Holiday exposure. I'm going to have some, but the projection is modest at best here. So I might end up with more Sixers here than Bucks just based on pricing. Raj, what are you thinking here? The Embiid versus Giannis clash of titans, as Chronic says, the titanium. What does he call him? The
Armored Titan.
Armored Titan. Giannis versus Embiid. If you have to choose between the 2, which one do you grab? And what are you doing with this game for your player pool?
I think I'm just going. I think Embiid just because I think there's less. He has less talent around him than Giannis. If I'm going to pick 1v1 between these 2, but I think playing them both is definitely a play here. Like Josh mentioned earlier, we were talking that they're both kind of still battling LeBron for the scoring title. Both are going to want to score 30 plus points. 2 of the best teams in the East going at it. I think it's going to be kind of a statement game for if they meet in the playoffs, a conference booster. So play both of them, have both of them in the pool. Both are great players. You're definitely paying for both, but they'll be definitely worth it in this competitive game. I think both these guys go for 60 plus fantasy points. But the key, I think, will be the secondary pieces, whether a guy like Drew Holiday at 8'7" or Middleton at 7'8". These guys both have 40 to 50 point upside. They can definitely show out this game. So Middleton at 78, I like the price tag and the possible upside. Drew Holiday definitely in play because of his usage. And the Philly side, I'm probably not getting to a lot of Harden. I think it's going to be an Embiid game. So paying 10-2 for Harden as well seems like a tough spot. And for the secondary pieces for them, if you want to take a shot on, probably no Shake, no Maxey. I think it's just Embiid for me. Just Embiid based on the pricing here and in Milwaukee.
I think I don't think Harden is that negatively correlated with Embiid to begin with. Like Harden does have a 36% assist rate in that split. So obviously it's hard to get to them both. But I don't know. My projection on them early on is not that drastic. And let's be honest, like metrically, it makes more sense for Harden's skill set than Embiid. So I know the poster, the marquee is Giannis versus Embiid, but this matchup wise, guys that are not dependent on scoring in the paint. I think it makes more sense for Harden to pay off his price point than a little extra stress for Embiid. But continue. I didn't want to interrupt. I just want to interject with. I think Harden's fun.
I mean, I get the Harden argument. Like you said, he's gonna shoot some threes. Milwaukee's gonna give up a ton of threes. It's just so many kind of guards in the spot. You got Luka, Kyrie, Westbrook with no LeBron. I think it's hard to
blow out.
Hey man, some passionate basketball.
I get, but like both, like you mentioned. Wait, did you say Kyrie? Yeah, Kyrie.
No, I mean Westbrook. I mean, we'll get there, but I think he's in an interesting spot too, where no one will play him because of that blowout risk. But yeah, I'm back to this game. I get the Harden thing, but also like I'm not getting to any Maxey at 6'4". I don't think in this spot. I think when both guys are healthy, the upside just very limited. Guy like Thibault at 3,700 just going to be out there playing minutes guarding. He might get the Giannis assignment. So minutes are there. If you think he's going to play 35 minutes to kind of tail Giannis at 3,700, trying to win 100K, I think he's in play. Yeah. I think it's just hard for the Milwaukee guys too, like guy like Grayson Allen or Pat Connaughton. When the big three are in, they're just so unreliable.
So I guess in that last game on February 17th, we saw 37 minutes from Embiid. He dropped 42 real points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. So it was an Embiid game. Prior to that, Embiid, which is definitely on the wrong end of the who scores more, him or Giannis matchup. But I get what you're saying. I think these two guys playing inspired basketball is something to just definitely be mesmerized by. Yeah. Josh, when it comes to Embiid and Harden, is it always clearly Embiid for you too, or do you think it's closer? And then how often does Harden become the more lucrative and the more the stronger play than Embiid today?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna go with the Harden narrative that he crumbles under pressure, especially his fourth quarter performances lately have been really bad, and they always think Harden is not that guy during the clutch times and important games, and this is definitely an important game. But I mean, with that said, I think that's gonna probably lower his ownership, and I think guys like Luka are probably gonna be the most popular. So maybe if you wanted leverage, I mean, if you hope that the Mavs put away the Lakers pretty early on, then Luka doesn't get that fourth quarter run. I mean, that's really going to lower his potential and boost guys like Harden and give you more leverage.
Yeah, but I think Harden's just being slept on here. I haven't got a pulse on ownerships yet, but 10K for Harden.
Luka's going to be way higher on.
You think who?
Luka.
I mean, that's certainly fair, but I've listened to the field. They are nervous about blowouts, man. I don't know. I just think Harden at 10K on FanDuel and 10-2 on DK, like this is not that much on a 5-game slate to go out there and throw a lasso around 50 fantasy points. I do concede that if we do lose Levine, a lot of the AK money is just going to go straight to like DeRozan, and that's going to take away from the ability to comfortably get a guy like Harden. There's not like a bunch of value either to get these big guys. So if you are trying to prioritize a Giannis or an Embiid, Harden definitely feels like the third wheel there. But man, it just seems like he's getting a little bit slept on. My early projections had him only 5-point difference in fantasy points on FanDuel and 4-point difference on DK than Joel Embiid, and that's $1,000 discount. That's the X value that I'll take. And there's some alternative options with the in that center spot. I mentioned the viability behind Vucevic in tournaments over Embiid, just based on his potential uptick in usage if Levine's out for a team that doesn't want to lose. So there's plenty of different ways to spin this. Let me talk to you about the Bucks though. Past Giannis, considering these price points, AK for Drew, AK for Chris Middleton. The team's implied for 115. They're a rare road dog when they're full strength. They were just a rare dog, period, as a full strength team. I'm not sure that that's happened this year. Do you see any avenues to being confident behind Drew Holiday being the best 8 to 9K play per dollar. Same with Chris Middleton, or is it just Giannis for you and go from there?
I think it's just Giannis. Those guys, their potential is just gonna get diluted amongst each other, and and their bench is so deep, like Raj was saying. But circle back to Harden real quick. So he did not play in that Bucks game, that most recent one that Embiid went off.
Ooh.
So I mean, we don't know what we're gonna get today with him and as a 76er in this matchup. It's a massive pace-up spot for the slow 76ers. I mean, the Bucks are ranked 4th in pace.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, they bleed threes like we've already said. I wouldn't just completely write off Harden. I get it, the narrative.
I low-key like Harden over Embiid points per dollar. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different.
Yeah.
I just think matchup-wise, when we talk about what we've been targeting against the Bucks versus what we haven't been targeting, 3-point shooters, and we don't target points in the paint. Obviously, Embiid can stretch to 5, and he's different. Sure, yeah. But just matchup wise, it makes a lot of sense for Harden. And then Harden's 36% assist rate is not negatively correlated to a solid Embiid game as well. So I don't know if Embiid has one of those 40-50 fantasy point games, but I also get a 40-50 out of Harden. Obviously, I want 50 from those price points. But
Adam Palmer super chat.
Adam Palmer with the bing bong.
Let's go. Let's make some money today.
Yo, appreciate that, Adam. Adam with the biggest D in the room. Oh, we got the biggest D in the room. Anyway.
So yeah, with that said, if like Fanduel, you can only have one center, either Embiid or Vooch. Let's say Levine is ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
Would you maybe then just like play Harden instead of Embiid and play Vooch at the center to get different, and then pair Harden with guys like Giannis or another top stud?
Yeah, and Fanduel being a way more typically loose in terms of making lineup. Like last night, I was able to go Ernest, appreciate that sub, welcome to the channel. I was able to go Trae Young, DeJounte, and Jokic easily. Last night also gave us a ton of value. So far, our first run here, we didn't have like can't miss value, a lot of 3-4K guys, so maybe lineup construction a little tougher today. But yeah, like I'm fine with Vooch here. Vooch has every bit of upside for 40 plus to 50 plus. I'll do a stat news here. Vucevic, let's go FTP by game log without Zach Levine let's go last 5 games for that. Vucevic without Levine last 5 games. We got a 40, 42, 50, 55. Then there's a 35. We don't want to talk about that one, but so I think that the merit is there. So if he can score within 10, 15 of Embiid, save some salary. And if Harden's just the same play as Embiid or a better play because the matchup says so, I can grab Harden. I can grab Giannis. It's still correlated in that regard. And then you might even get freaky and have like a Luka. Because what you're not going to have is a Luka, Harden, Giannis, Embiid line, right? And, I don't know. It could be a little different. I don't know why. I don't know, my gut's like leaning towards Harden over Embiid here. But I definitely reserve. I'm definitely not against being wrong sometimes, What's up, Travis Duarte, Jason Garnett in the chat, Andrew Sitar, THT, or Wayne and Gabriel. Ew. Bing bong. Here we go.
Nasty super chatted $9.99. Just saying what's good, my boy.
Yo, let's go. I appreciate that. The Dynasty, that $10 dono on top of Adam's $2 dono. Man, you guys, you really shouldn't have. I appreciate that. Is there any Anthony Davis news that he might be playing? Jason, I got doubtful for him and LeBron, but he did go through a full practice, so could be soon. Igor in the chat as well. Shout out to Igor. Shout out to Rob S, man. You guys are bringing the love today. I appreciate that. The question was THC or Gabriel. I would say I would want to get away from either. I guess there's a chance neither could start. Gabriel probably does start. THT has not been starting. If I paint the we'll talk about that game next, but if I paint the Lakers to stay close, I'm thinking Malik Monk has to do a lot. And Carmelo might also have to pick up some slack. So It is what it is. All right, let's talk about super tertiary play here. And probably the play that we didn't talk about enough, maybe the two plays here, is Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. Now, Harris has certainly had a much lower hit rate than Maxey has lately. My goodness, what is happening? But Tyrese Maxey makes a lot of sense. If we want to roll with this Embiid tougher spot, bing bong. Adam is nuts.
Super chatted $19.99.
Yo, Adam with the 20. I put Adam. I think that's like a $50 Big D swinging in chat. You guys are nuts right now. Appreciate that, Adam. You're insane. But if we want to roll with like this matchup being a little tougher for the front court for the Sixers, Maxey could pick up some slack here. And considering this, 116 point total, Josh, how often does Maxey get his 20 plus real points here? Obviously, it's not like 60% of the time, but it's not zero. Chuck some threes, get hot.
Yeah, if he gets hot from three too, that for sure.
We've seen him play 38 minutes in 2 of his last 3 games, 37, and these are all the competitive games he'll chuck. He's 10 threes against the Phoenix Suns, so I could get behind some Maxey. My median projection right now, or my projection right now, is a little over 30 fantasy points. So maybe Maxey gets lost in the sauce. It just seems like I'm more likely to get to some Sixers role players than I am the Bucks, but maybe that'll change as we get closer to lock, man. But man, shout out to you guys. You guys are just crushing it in the chat. Lakers at the Mavs. Lakers project starting 5, Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, Stanley Johnson, Wenyen Gabriel, Dwight Howard. If I'm Frank Vogel, I cannot let that lineup be my starting lineup. I got to get Malik Monk in there, so I just took this from a projection site. Mavericks projects the starting lineup: Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell. 219.5 total. 12-point spread in favor of the home team, Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks offering the slowest pace in the league, and they are essentially full strength. The Lakers, not so much. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, doubtful. LeBron turned his ankle, and the Lakers, we discussed this outcome yesterday. If they lose this game, and the playoffs started tonight, don't you love that? If the playoffs started tonight, the Lakers would not be in the play-in spot. The Spurs would have the edge. The Spurs handled their business yesterday, so there's a world where LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook do not make the playoffs, not even the play-in team. And right now, that is the expectation via Vegas spread. So a lot to think about here. Rod, it sounds like you want to believe in Russell Westbrook, if not for a real win, for a solid fantasy night. My projections always want to believe in Russell Westbrook, and my heart does as well. How confident are you going to allow yourself to get behind Westbrook after he's hurt us over and over and over and over and over and over?
Hey, what a way to go out if Russell Westbrook can give me a bink. 100K bank. That's right in this spot. Tough spot, Dallas. They're playing great defense. Blowout definitely possible. But with no LeBron, AD still out, it's going to be the Russell Westbrook show, 8,800. We saw last time LeBron was out, some of these guys, they play a little inspired ball. Him, Carmelo Anthony at 4,600 could definitely get you some buckets. Malik Monk will be relied upon to score more. Taylor Horton-Tucker, we've seen some flashes from him whenever he's given a somewhat of an opportunity. So I think these guys are all definitely in play. Again, not a comfortable matchup. There's definitely a large field tournament play, but there's just so much scoring. Usage should go around. I think all these guys, they definitely got to be in the pool. And in the Dallas side, no one's going to play Luka Doncic today. If you're paying 11-4 for anyone, it's going to be Giannis and Embiid. So Luka is probably going to be less than 5. I'm thinking less than 10% owned, maybe 5%
I don't think so.
How are you going to be paying for Luka?
Let's, if we're being honest, I'm not the only kid in the world with a projection system. And right now, my projections had Luka as the highest scorer on the slate. So
Now
like
that's a-
I gotta imagine there's some parity between my process and the rest of the industry. So if that is the case, there's no way that Luka Doncic is less than 10% on a 5-game slate. That's actually a crazy statement.
No,
I would start at
crazy.
I would start at 25% and go from there. Bing bong.
Super chatted $4.99. Raj better keep my players' names out his fussing mouth.
I didn't know you could do that. Bro, Damrod did some research on how to make, god dang it, demonetize.
What you can do. But I mean, I think it's crazy that your projection that Luka Doncic is the highest score on the slate.
How is that crazy?
I'll take Embiid, Harden all day. I mean, Embiid and Giannis all day, every day over Luka in the spot. Kidding me?
But if you play Westbrook, it would make sense to play Luka, right?
No, yeah, if you want to bring it back, then absolutely. But there's no way I'm getting to way more Embiid and Giannis over Luka.
I mean, yeah, but that's your narrative. Like what?
Okay, let's make a bet on it. I'll take Giannis over Luka.
No, because I think it's an equal. Hold on. It's an equal range of outcome that they all score 50, 60 fantasy points. Let's not act like Luka can't drop 60 plus. If it stays competitive, which you're saying, I'm just saying projection wise, the models. Yeah. I personally don't put less minutes based on a spread. I just put what the average minutes is, what we're projecting to play. I put 36 minutes on Luka Doncic, 60 fantasy points come back. Now, as we tighten screws, as we get closer to lock, Embiid or Giannis might rise a little bit, but they also might not. And I think Luka, basically what I'm saying is a lot of NBA projections models are very similar, a lot of parity. And even if it's not the same number, a lot of times if I look at other projections, it's the same ranking. Like, if it's Luka at 58 and then so on and so forth, no matter what, Luka Doncic is going to be a top 3, top 4 projected scorer on the slate, but probably top 1 or top 2. So there's no way he's less than 10% on a 5-game slate. That's just literally impossible.
I might hear you. If the projection is that high, I hope you're a little higher owned. But I think Embiid and Giannis will definitely come more owned than Luka. But yeah, on the Dallas side, back to the game here. Am I really going to get to any Dinwiddie at 6-1? I think is intriguing at 6K price tag. Definitely has upside, but he also has a floor of like 20 points.
Adam
So I think strictly tournament wants on him, it's fine. But
I'll take that bet, Raj Luka over Giannis.
We doing that?
Adam Palmer wants that bet from you, Luka over Giannis.
Oh, Adam Palmer, he wants.
Bro, you guys are going crazy with these donos, dog. This is nuts. I appreciate that.
I'm going to a nice dinner.
Yeah, all right. It is a birthday for.
There you go.
That puppy.
Yeah, we're not getting a puppy. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so past your asinine Luka Doncic take. What are you doing with the Mavs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super interested in Dinwiddie or Jalen Brunson, but I think, if you want to get to some Dinwiddie at that price tag, I think it's fine, in that 5-6 range. And I'm probably staying away from a guy like Dwight Powell.
So my boy Steve, shout out to Steve. Osmo has free ownership projections today. Luka Doncic is the highest owned player.
That's what I thought.
It had to be. You just look at projections on a 5-game slate. You go from there. Raj, you should be thanking the government for banning DK in Ontario.
If people playing Luka over Giannis and Embiid, it's gonna be a good night for me.
Okay, I mean, sure, but that's what I was saying. Like, if it was the inverse, I'd be on the other side because it's I don't think it's that drastic of a probability and chance of happening for the other guy to score more. That's why I didn't want to take the bet because it's a coin flip, if anything. But yes, ownerships mean a lot tonight. But yeah, you're getting roasted by chat, by the way. This is fun. Let him have it, chat. Let him have it, chat. Let this boy have it. He's got. Giannis
and Embiid literally going to outscore Luka, and I'm just going to come back and be like, "What did I tell you?"
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pessimistic. Jesse says I'm seeing Doncic between 58 60 DK points on a few sites right on with guns. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's usually in line, right? It may not be the exact same number, but at least the ranking of who scores the most is there, right? Anyway, what up, Danny P? What up, Malakar? Everyone hates Chris. So, Raj, if you really want Russell Westbrook to work, it's not going to be Brody by himself. I think Malik Monk is going to have to pick up a huge amount of scoring responsibility. When he's on, he's probably their best scorer. You can make a case for Carmelo. This Stanley Johnson, Wenyen Gabriel, Dwight Howard. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me. What are you honestly doing with the Lakers?
Again, I mean, I'm not gonna have a ton of them, but maybe in a game stack, Luka, Westbrook, Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, THT. It's kind of like how the Celtics kept it close with the Raptors. Do it. But I do think the Celtics, clearly have a better bench when their stars are out. But I could see the Lakers, just kind of playing this fireball and kind of doing the same thing.
Bro, the Lakers. No, Raj, what are you on today, bro?
Tournament thought. I'm just saying. Ain't no cash gameplay. This ain't no 1v1.
But this isn't like. This is 2 weeks left in the season, and the Lakers have a whole season of suck behind them with LeBron.
Now it's go time.
So for some reason in your brain, you think that if you take out LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that Russell Westbrook and this collective group of players is going to fight and scrap. But now I'll say they have the world to fight for, right? Losing you're out of the picture. Bing bong, come
Caesar
on,
Flores
y'all are
super
crazy
chatted
right now.
$20. Thanks, guys, for all the content. Had a very profitable week on PrizePicks.
Bruh, Caesar, appreciate that $20 dono. Yeah, PrizePicks was nuts last night. I think Caesar's in the Discord. Is that jalapeno? Shout out to Caesar, longtime sub at rundfs.com. Golly, man, y'all are nuts. I actually have to do the math, but I'm pretty sure y'all just broke all kinds of records. But anyway, I want to believe in Westbrook more than anybody. Because of pain, but it's hard to put this Lakers team together and make them a competent unit scoring wise. They're missing some massive pieces here, and the Mavs run such a slow pace, solid defense here. It's an uphill battle at worst, and I just don't have a path to success. So I'm not that confident in their ability to do so. Josh, what are you thinking here? Let me be the voice of reason. Before Westbrook drops 70 and
yeah, if you're gonna go heavy on Luka, it makes sense to play Westbrook because he's gonna be the one keeping him in the game, like we saw that most recent game with LeBron out. So I'm sure that'll be a popular stack run back for people who do play Luka. I will say this though, I'm with Raj. If I had to pick between the three top guys, I would lean Giannis and Embiid.
And that's fair. No, that's 100% fair. It was, Luka, Raj was like, he's going to be under 10%. Oh, that was the crazy part. He just wasn't. Yeah, okay.
But Luka is dealing. He's banged up, right? He's had some hamstring issues. He's had this ankle soreness he's been dealing with the last 2 weeks. If they get that early lead, I just see him resting. There's no point. I'm surprised he's even playing in this game, to be honest. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. All the other guys, secondary guys, I can't get on because of the blowout risk. Dinwiddie's been really efficient, but it's a great matchup for him. Yeah, I don't know. I just worry about this game.
Yeah,
Dallas plays really well. They play really well at home.
Yeah, there's a ton to worry about here too. By the way, chat, I do want to tie in PrizePicks here real quick. We were sweating the results of the Donovan Mitchell second taco for Taco Tuesday, and it did not. It ended super tight, I'll say, Josh. But I predicted that the casual public would be dumb and vote for points. So the points actually won 43.1% of the vote. Assists got 42.2%. So less than 1%, Josh.
But you better hope that Bojan doesn't play.
I know, right? What are you guys doing? Gosh darn it. Oh, watch the show. Watch the product. Anyway, so that is our second Taco Tuesday tonight. If you're wondering what the F is a Taco Tuesday, well, LeBron James tried to tell you, but he won't tell you. I will. It is a weekly promotion done by our friends at PrizePicks. If you guys are not on PrizePicks, you should be. If you sign up right now using code GUNDACKER, they're going to double your first deposit up to $100, and then they show me some love once a month, saying, "Hey, Gun, this many people signed up using your code. Here's some money." And I money because it keeps this show free. So if you guys haven't tried it, check it out. Down the stretch, like we saw last night, there's going to be some edges to be had, and maybe it's too much of a headache to deal with it for DFS. How much Brandon Williams. Literally yesterday, there was a showdown slate for the Thunder and Blazers. You could not exhaust all your salary. It was literally impossible to play a fully active lineup and use your salary. We might see more of that going down the stretch, especially since the Blazers are a West Coast team. But what we can do is take advantage of stuff like that for PrizePicks and prop betting and stuff like that. So check that out. And then, of course, we do the daily PrizePicks content here, the first look videos, the live streams, and that's going to continue for baseball. So check it out. Good way to support the stream, support the site, get a little something in return. Getting caught up on chat here. Adi says, I'm dying right now. I can't stop laughing. You're crazy, bro. Was it from roasting Raj? Raj is my boy. You say some stuff sometimes that are on the border of being horrendously dumb and not. Arizona says you need a 63 from Luka to be 6x. Not happening when he's Arizona, man. I think these short slates, you got to be a little less stuck on X value and appreciate raw points more. Because if, let's just say Luka, and this is anyone, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, if they drop 58 fantasy points, whatever at their price points, and that 58 leads the slate in fantasy scoring, there's probably a good chance that they end up being in the top lineup. I get what you're saying. It's ingrained in us to look for the 5 or 6x or 5x plus 10, blah, 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 blah. But don't overthink it on a smaller slate, because especially as we get down the stretch, there's going to be so much value that we're just going to throw a net about around raw points, and the top end means more, even if it's not a specific 6x. You know what I mean? Dem Boys got heat says, I split that OKC Portland showdown with 130 people in first. I knew it had to be a massive dupe, right? What up, J Tunes? What's it? That doesn't. You need the raw. Yeah, you get the raw. You get it, ID. You guys are picking it up. Hey, you know what else we need to pick up? It's the likes. Where are we at on likes? 50, 193. You guys, bro. You can. I'm just saying, you could do better. Marwin's room, Raj. Marwin Gonzalez, current Yankee great.
Shout out to the real Marvin's Room. Best song Drake's ever made.
Nets are hosting the Pistons tonight. What you got, Josh?
I was going to... breaking news, not really, but we got some gorgeous Yang 3-point prop posted.
Okay.
I was looking out for that.
Do we get any NBA news? By the way, if you guys are looking for NBA news and you don't want to keep Twitter open all the time, you can join the free Discord. Link to that's in the description below. I'm going to pull that up, and you see all of the underdog tweets are automatically put in here. No big news for this slate coming out yet. All right. So Nang 3-point props, is that 1.5, 2.5?
1.5.
Ooh, that's how they get you.
That is how they get you.
All right,
Pistons. You want to put your money on Yang tonight, Raj?
I'm gonna probably pass on that one. not on a heavy, not on a big ticket. Maybe just a little one, just to throw them in there.
You going big tonight? Or are you waiting until tomorrow?
I really like the Embiid Giannis point prop. And the Porzingis. Yeah. Got a fourth one. I'm down for like a $500 ticket, but maybe save for tomorrow. We'll see. See how we're feeling.
Okay.
So Raj is going to pass on that one. You know who might do some passing tonight? Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons, because he and his team are facing the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. Projects a starting 5 for those Pistons. Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bag Alert, Isaiah Stewart, Marvin Bag Alert. Taking on Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Bruce Brown, Kevin Durant, and Andre the Giant Drummond. A 234 total and a 14-point spread in favor of the Brooklyn Nets. Big time spread here, largest on the slate. Pistons, of course, find themselves in these big spreads pretty often. It feels like a big bing bong. What?
Adam Palmer super chatted
$1.99.
Adam knows what's up.
Team Raj brother.
Yo, she put some stank on it, brother. Still Team Raj, brother. Appreciate that, Adam. Yo, Adam is running away with the biggest D of the month, man. 2 days, it's gonna reset. So, month of March belongs to Adam. So yeah, it feels like the Pistons are constantly involved in these big spreads here, but end up scrapping. So we'll see if that's the case here today. But the Pistons are pretty short staffed. No more Jeremy Grant, but Cade Cunningham is kind of he's looking better every time I watch him play. And then Marvin Bagley getting a chance to show the Pistons organization what he's got, and we saw him against the Knicks drop almost 30 real points. What was it, 27, something like that? So we might get some more big minutes on him tonight, going to battle against this Nets team. You wonder, hey, if it does blow out, do they bench starters? Do they just let them go out there and get some reps? We've seen 35 minutes out of Bagley in back-to-back games, each game getting us a crazily similar outcome, 37 fantasy points with 25 and 27 real points in both of them. And now he's facing this Nets team that, if they're playing with a lead, you get to play some prevent defense pretty quickly, and it might make the path to success a little bit easier for Bagley, who's pretty doggone cheap, all things considered. And Cade Cunningham, we were thinking about his assist prop for the PrizePicks streets. On the Nets side, much like Luka, you're looking at Kyrie's second home game, looking for him to do a little bit better than opening night. And KD is also in the mix. And if Luka's going to lead the slate in ownership, and there's still some buzz on Giannis and Embiid, you wonder if Kyrie and Kevin Durant fall down a little bit. I think I had those guys on a bigger slate, close to 10% or less the last time out. So we'll see if that kind of continues here. Being that they become a little bit more volatile and a little more likely to vulture each other, I'm on the fence about what we're doing here. Projection-wise, if I get a full run out of this game, I'm getting amazing numbers on Kyrie and KD, and Kyrie's a little bit more of a value on FanDuel, $1,000 difference between his FanDuel price and his DK price. And there's a couple $100 difference between KD, and a lot of us want to get behind Andre Drummond. And I talked about this the other day, where LaMarcus Aldridge was not on the injury report but didn't play, and I was wondering, like, he was a part of this rotation. Almost arguably, there's 6 men before the injury. So is that the plan going forward for him to not be part of the active rotation with Blake Griffin? Seems like I would want to guess no, but his presence made me hesitant on trusting Andre Drummond, who is in a really nice stretch lately, and we love his first half fantasy point prop. But maybe chat, you guys can help me out. Has anybody seen or heard anything from Steve Nash indicating that Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge are not going to start impeding on Drummond's propensity to get 28 and 31 minutes? Because if not, Drummond's in a great spot at a great price against his former team, Detroit Pistons, and I'm getting a really solid projection on that. But I'm scared that one of these days Steve Nash is going to be like, oh yeah, LMA, check in. Raj, this game, similar to the Mavs game, double-digit point spread. What are you doing here? Is it anything? Is it nothing? You're not touching the studs. I think the role players look nice, points per dollar. What do you think you'll end up with?
I mean, I'm not really scared of this Brooklyn defense here. So I think Bagley at 5,600 with no Jeremy Grant. He's been getting the minutes. The usage is there. Back-to-back good games at 37 fantasy points. And now with no Grant, I think he can push 40-plus fantasy points or maybe 45. Sadiq Bey, I think gets a bump with no Jeremy Grant here. He's $7K, not a comfortable price there, but he's going to be out there playing the minutes. Could definitely get you a lot of peripherals too and get hot. So I don't hate that. On the Brooklyn side, KD and Dre. I mean, I think KD, he might fall through the cracks a little bit. I think people, if you're going to pay up again, it's going to be Giannis and Embiid. And like I said, Luka's going to be the highest, has the highest projection, might be the highest owned. So Durant's definitely being forgotten here at 11.3. So, but he definitely still has that same upside, 50, 60 point upside. Don't hate that. Kyrie Irving 10-8 after he kind of screwed everyone yesterday and what people thought, would be a big game for him. Shot 6 for 22. It's a bad shooting night. Had 11 assists though, and still got you 40 fantasy points. So I expect him to shoot better. 1 for 9 from 3. If that becomes 5 for 9 for 3, 5 for 10, in the second home game back, I can see him putting on a show here. So Kyrie might be a tournament winner here too.
Josh, is that as crazy a statement as Luka Doncic going to be low owned?
No, I'm with Raj. I mean, I feel a bounce back game for Kyrie as well, and we've seen even when he blows teams out single handedly, he'll continue to play in the fourth quarter like he did against the Magic. One thing I did check in on though were the Pistons. So the Pistons don't we talked about this earlier. The Pistons don't really get blown out that much.
Mm-hmm.
They're a scrappy team, and it's all because of Cade playing so well, and you have more offensive threat in Bagley now. So there is a range of outcome where this game does stay closer than what the spread suggests, but I still just had this gut feeling that the Nets had that letdown game at home against the Hornets, and they really, they need to keep winning. I just feel like with Kyrie and KD, as prolific scorers as they are, they can blow out a team in one quarter, and that could very well happen today in the first or second quarter. That's just too large for Cade to make a comeback. However, I did check in on the Pistons. The last game got blown out was against the Hawks. That was a week ago.
Mm-hmm. About a week
and
ago.
Cade ended up playing pretty much his normal minutes, his 35 minutes. He played majority of the fourth quarter. Deke Bay still closed the fourth quarter. Marvin Bagley played the entire fourth. I think, I don't know, is that the game Grant got hurt? I can't remember.
There was a game where like all the guards were out for the Pistons, like Corey Joseph and guys like that.
Corey Joseph and Killian Hayes played that game, and
Okay.
Magruder played that game.
Okay, so we just saw like really, really big run here. I'll load it, but AMF is taking a minute. There we go.
Yeah, it's March 23rd. It's the
Got it.
So I assume that Cade and Bagley are pretty safe.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. Yeah, the starters, all the starters except Cunningham, sat the fourth, and then Cunningham.
Yeah, and that game was over by the fourth too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, Cade Cunningham just might be that guy. Get him those reps as a rookie of the year.
And maybe it gets motivating, in front of guys like, being a rookie, and guys like KD and Kyrie. And I mean, he's just going to keep trying to solidify that rookie of the year award. So I like Cade a lot. And Bagley, I always like Bagley, especially for GPP play. Do you guys think he'll be popular today?
Bagley probably. It's just this is a slate where we haven't really mentioned one 3K guy, right? So I think these 5K guys that are stocking stuffers will just get coagulated because the projections is just too strong. 5,600 on DK for Bagley, 25 real points Bagley. Yeah, probably gonna grab some ownership on that. Probably. You know what else should probably happen is you guys watching should probably go to rundfs.com. You should probably click VIP memberships, and you should probably know that baseball is 2 weeks away, and it is a little bit of a learning process, but once you get it, once it clicks, boom, you're thumbing. And we have the baseball package up, and it's probably only up for another day or two. We'll see. And then if you guys get that, you get a $100 credit to Fantasy Cruncher. So after rebate, it essentially comes to $200 for the entire baseball season. And when I say that out loud, I'm just like, that's actually crazy because that's until October 5th, which that's like 6 months of coverage. And it's not just baseball. You get the rest of basketball. You're going to get NASCAR coverage, stuff like that. I don't want to advertise like USFL and all that other obscure stuff, but we have some cats in the Discord every night that are grinding esports and stuff like that, so you guys can tell that. I know some of you guys, J. Cole's in chat, Jackson, Josh has been involved in looking at this. We've got Fish. Shout out to Fish. We love Fish. He's one of our 50-year-old businessmen in Florida. And it's just funny now hearing this elderly Jewish guy talk about League of Legends, bro. Like, where else is this happening? That's just a beautiful thing. So, shout out to Fish fan out there sweating CS:GO with us every night. But the community is amazing. So even though I spearhead some of the premium stuff that we can advertise, the MLB, NBA, NFL, stuff like that, there's a lot more value in the Discord itself, and it just overall a great community. So check that out. And then, of course, the baseball product, the spreadsheet, all that good stuff. I honestly, humbly say it's the best thing I've ever created in terms of attacking slates. And I don't know, I haven't seen a lot out there that kind of competes with in terms of dumbing down slates and using advanced metrics in a easy to consume manner. So check that out. Main event tonight: Utah Jazz at the LA Clippers. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. Maybe Bojan, Rudy Gobert, not a lock to play. And then the Clippers list Reggie Jackson, Paul George, maybe Marcus Morris.
He is.
He is.
Playing.
Ooh. Paul George is, I'm back, but you can't play me at 9K. Marcus Morris.
Dangerous. Clippers are very dangerous.
Nick Batum, really? Okay, Ivica Zubac. So the Clippers said that they were going to be managing their minutes going down the wire here. They're locked, right? They can't really do anything. If we look at that Western Conference, the Clippers are 36 and 39. They're not going to catch the T-Wolves, and they're not going to fall to the Pelicans. So they're just trying to stay healthy and get ready for the dance. And because of that, we have seen capped minutes on everyone, and now if Paul George is going to be in the mix, I'm not paying $7K for 30 minutes of Reggie. The only name I think I could walk away with here is Terrence Mann and Isaiah Hartenstein. Hartenstein under 5K on DK. I know those are crazy names to kind of mention, but those are only two that like I could even introduce to my player pool at this point. Razi,
I would check the rotation for last game. It was weird.
I mean, does it matter if Paul George is here though? You know, what do you mean like for like who got blowout minutes?
Well, just like I want to see this rotation. The rotation, like I was looking at it, they were blown out, but I want to know how much. If there wasn't a blowout, like with this minute cap, how many minutes would these guys have actually got? Because Mann played some minutes in the fourth in the blowout.
So Mann,
he still only played 22 minutes.
It was only Reggie and Marcus Morris, I think, and then maybe Nick Batum were the three guys that I remember specifically being attached to a restriction. And Reggie saw 27 minutes. Marcus Morris 14. Didn't touch the court in the second half. I don't know if I'm missing something there.
I mean, I don't know. It looked like Mann was restricted too. I mean, he only played 22 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, it makes me not want to touch the Clippers at all, outside of maybe a Hartenstein. But even then, I'm not like overly convicted to get there.
But maybe this is how you get different in this small slate. And when to take down a GPP is if you can figure out this Clippers, and you find that guy like Amir Coffey who plays 37 minutes in that game, has like a.
I mean, yeah, he is cheap. Is one of the guys under 4K on the slate that we really haven't had on the slate. But yeah, I don't. It's a nightmare at best. I'll say that the Utah Jazz though also dealing with quite a few Q tags. Bojan Bogdanovic questionable, Rudy Gobert questionable, Hassan Whiteside out. So is Azubike. He had surgery. They 10-day contracted Greg Monroe. So I guess there is a scenario where he would play if Gobert and them were out. But I don't even know that he would start. We saw them start Eric Pascal, but that could have been an emergency. Maybe they want some beef here. So this is certainly a spot to keep an asterisk and sweat the news. This game is 2.5 hours after the Nets game tips off here. I'm just assuming... since it's Tuesday and this is the only night game that this is a TNT game, so maybe the Jazz will bring out their guys. And when it comes to the Jazz incentives to win, they want to win. They can get back to a top 4 seed if they win out here. And the Mavs or the Warriors. Warriors have lost 3 in a row, lose a couple more games. So the Jazz and the Nuggets, we talked about them yesterday. If those guys jump into top 4 seedings, games at Utah, games at Denver have certainly been a great home court advantage in the years. And then, full incentive for the Jazz to win. And if Snyder can put out a full strength lineup, I'm sure he would want to. With that said, just a 1-point spread here. Josh, is this a 1-point spread if you know for sure the Jazz are full strength?
I mean, Jazz have not been playing well.
Okay.
I guess
if you know Gobert and Bojan are facing a minutes limit Clippers team, is this one?
They're on the road though, and we know how.
Yeah, okay. I mean that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, and the Clippers, I just always respect Ty Lue. I mean, they're scrappy. They keep games close when you don't think so. But just the minicap, it's just a minicap.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, with the minicap, I mean, there's maybe won't get their like normal fourth quarter run, but that means the game should stay close to the fourth. Yeah, I agree with Vegas on this one.
Okay, Raj, what do you do with this game for DFS? Donovan Mitchell at 8,200 on Fanduel. I think I can get there. I certainly feel a lot more better about it if Bojan was out. If Gobert ends up missing this game, it's a big hit to their defense. Definitely one of their front court anchors. And then if, depending on the status and the windpipes of Greg Monroe, who we see Monroe play some games earlier this season, completely serviceable. I don't think he's in the player pool. I'll double check Greg Monroe he isn't a player pool. He's bare bones mint on DK, so that might shape things up if news fell out the right way later. I hope it doesn't. But Raj, what are you grabbing from this game from a DFS standpoint? The only late night hammers available. I think Donovan Mitchell makes the most sense for a ceiling chase.
You mentioned Hardenstein, 4,700. I think he'll be pretty good value here. Getting a minute, getting 30-plus fantasy points. If Gobert gets rolled out, even a better spot for him. But even with Gobert in, I don't mind that as a value play. Other than that, I'm probably staying away from all the Clippers. Like you said, Paul George is back, and they're also priced at a point where you kind of expect Paul George to sit. So I'm not getting any other Clippers. On the Utah side, if Gobert sits, a guy like Hernan Gomez, is going to see a boost in minutes. So don't hate that at 4K. Mitchell at 8.7. I think he's a guy with 50-point fantasy potential for sure. Could get you 30 real-life points. Don't mind him. You mentioned Mike Conley. Not as high on him at 5.7, but definitely a cheap price tag for him to get you 35 fantasy points, which would get the job done.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be one of the more. It won't be as exciting as last night's Late Night Hammer, and Josh will attest to that. Maybe the halftime show is the Asian girl and the unicycle flipping plates and stuff. Maybe that'll compete with last night's halftime show. I don't know. Anyway, hey chat, get them thumbs ups going. We're at 69. Nice. Shout out to the 69 of you. There's been over $60 in chat revenue today. That's definitely some type of record. So I definitely appreciate all you guys hitting that young dono button with the super chat. That was awesome. Tomorrow's schedule should be, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, a first look video in the morning, right?
Yep.
It's only that's tomorrow is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 games.
Oh, F me.
Serious.
Main event tomorrow, Pelicans Trailblazers.
Fun.
Also, the Warriors host the Suns. The Warriors might lose home court advantage here. So there's real, if you're the Jazz or the Nuggets, there's a path to home court advantage.
The Warriors, they did great yesterday, man. They look real solid.
Spurs host the Grizzlies, and the Spurs could go backwards. So even if the Lakers lose today, there could be AD and LeBron back soon to kind of keep them, because Grizzlies have been on a tear. The Hawks at the Thunder. Oh boy, the Kings and the Rockets. That's a tankathon. Hornets and the Knicks. Both the Knicks aren't mathematically dead, but they're pretty much dead. Heat at the Celtics. And that could be a problem. I think that's technically for first place still, right? No. Okay, so if the Sixers beat the Bucks today, either team that wins between the Sixers and Bucks, they would go to 47-28. That would put them one win back, or from the Heat, MX. And then if the Heat lost tomorrow against the Celtics, it could get really weird. You could have like three teams with similar records in the East. So that Eastern Conference is going to come down to the wire. We have Timberwolves at the Raptors. Both teams in the playoff hunt. T-Wolves certainly turning this season around. It's shocking a lot of people. Magic at the Wizards. Depending on how the Wizards do tonight, tomorrow could be really depressing for them and their motivation. The Mavs at the Cavs. And then the Nuggets at the Pacers, and the Nuggets should win that game. Pacers are down to, I believe, 5 people, a janitor, and Raj, pick up your phone. So if the Nuggets win tomorrow and the Warriors lose, there's a real path to the Nuggets all of a sudden having a shot at that 4 seed, being within a game or two of home court advantage. So the playoff implications in the next couple of days, although we do have our pick of the litter when it comes to tank bowls and bad teams, there are some games that should be fun to track, What up, RC Bremen? I appreciate that. What's up, man? Welcome to the channel. But that's what I got. Rod's hot take for the day.
Hot take for the day is, let's do
I feel like it's got to be
45 fantasy points.
All right. And then Josh, are you thinking Kyrie?
Yeah, Kyrie or Harden.
All right. You know what I got to do. I got to rep Brody, right? I got to.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, triple-double. Let's go, baby. Game winner, 3-point shot. Off the backboard. And then it's going to hit and come back. Oh, man, it'll be a lot of fun, man. You guys, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you got anything else for me, twitter.com/Gundacker. I appreciate you guys making part of my day, be part of your day. Tell somebody you love them because I love you. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.